Good morning. My name is Tandengomani, a social worker from the Healing House Social Work Services. Today, I want us to talk about child sexual abuse. What is child sexual abuse? What are the risks and indicators of child sexual abuse? What are the effects of child sexual abuse? And what is the role of social work? What is child sexual abuse? Child sexual abuse is a form of abuse in which an adult or a child adolescent uses the child for sexual stimulation. Child sexual abuse include engaging in sexual activities with the child either by pressuring or by asking, child grooming, child exploitation, using the child for prostitution, using the child for child pornography, sucking the child's genitals and nipples, exposing the child's genitals and nipples, and many more. Child sexual abuse can occur in different settings: the home, kulaping, the school, work, and also the church. Child sexual abuse kulaping is very common. Ukuthi nje imindeni ayifuni ukukhuluma ngayo. Child sexual abuse ichita ya hayani. Bombo dzula pasi ba baby ba ri hayi a hi swi lunghiseni kwala kaya swi helela kwala. Va nga tekeli enhlokweni matitwelo ya n'wana. This regarding the child's feelings. Child marriage is also a form of child sexual abuse. There are some countries in Africa mostly which still practice child marriage. That is child sexual abuse. The effects of child sexual abuse include depression, PTSD, anxiety, and in some instances, physical injury. Now, I want us to talk about intrafamilial child abuse. Now, this is a form of child sexual abuse which occurs within the home setting. Now, the abuse can be by people who are staying with the child, can be by the child's parent, by the child's sibling, by extended family members, by relatives, and in some instances, by the friends of the parents. Sexual abuse can have long-term effects on the child's psychological, emotional, social, educational, and emotional development. Child sexual abuse occurring within the home is often hidden. Some families, upon finding out, decide to discuss the issue within the family's consent. So where does this put the child? Abuse ye diragalang ko lapeng, batho ba dula fase as a family but decide you know what, a re itlogeleng taba e tlo re tsentsela mahlo, e tlo dira 1 2 3 4 and 5. What about the child? Ingani iyokhula with the trauma. It is going to affect the child even in his or her relationships in future. Families disregard the child's feelings in the matter. Some will even say, ingane izokhohlwa. Mwana udohangwa shihura. No, the child is not going to forget. The child is not going to forget that traumatic event. Mwana ukuyohula nayo, mwana iyakula naswona swi ya khumba na ti-relationship ta yena ta le mahlweni, swi ya khumba na vutomi bya yena. The moment you decide to hide the issue within the family, you have killed the child. You have killed the child. So sometimes it may be difficult for the child to disclose because they may not understand what is happening. Remember that we are talking about a child. It could be a 3-month-old, it could be a 3-year-old, it could be a 6-year-old, it could be a 13-year-old. We are talking about a child. And sometimes the child may be afraid to disclose because of the threats they are receiving from the abuser. For instances, if it is the stepfather who is abusing a girl child, utlo re go yana he o ka bolela nka sa o rekela eng le eng he o ka bolela ke tlo bolaya mama hao Uma ungosho ngizokubulala, ngizothatha i-TV, ngizoyenza 1 2 3 4 5. I mean, we are talking about a child. Ingane will believe that. So what are the indicators of child sexual abuse? How can you tell that a certain child is being abused within the family? Remember that we are still talking about abuse, sexual abuse that is taking place within the family. It is possible that all family members are aware of what is happening, but they decide not to disclose. So, how can the community notice that something is going on? How can the school, baba, iskolo, skolo, sitlobona jwang hore ngwana yo o ya abuseiwa? I mean, zikhonani dza ngwana dzi ḓo zwi vhonisa hani uri ngwana u khou abuseiwa? The neighbors, how can they tell? Now, this is what I want to talk about now. Number 1, changes in behavior. The child can become very aggressive and sometimes withdrawn. The child start experiencing problems in school. They can start to bully others. Their grades can start to drop. Regressed behaviors. Now this is what what we mean about this is bedwetting, thumb sucking. I mean, your child or the child concerned has passed those stages long ago, but all of a sudden the child starts to bedwet. The child starts to suck the thumb. A child may become frightened of a particular person. Every time umalume comes to visit, ingane izoqala ukukhala, ngwana o tlo thoma o lla, ngwana o ḓo thoma o actisa zwiṅwevho musi havhala malume vho swika. Knowledge of sexual behavior and language. Ngwana o tlo thoma o bulavula ka dilo tse dingwe tsa sex which are inappropriate for his or her age. Now that is a sign that something could be happening. So teachers, neighbors, community members, please take note of that. Physical symptoms such as STIs, pregnancy, and mostly in these pregnancies, the child will report that she does not know who the father is. Or the family may decide to tell people that they don't know who the father is while they are trying to cover up the abuse. Remember that we are talking about the abuse that is taking place within the home. Poor hygiene, bruises or bite marks, swollen nipples or buttons, buttocks, mouth injuries. Remember that some abusers may pressure the child, either boy child or girl child, to suck their private parts, and this can result in mouth injuries or bruises or rash. Frequent absences from school.
Sorry, okay? It was stupid. You just don't understand who my family is. Okay?
How they got it? A fucking baby!
Finishing up. Julian. Only temporarily. Like foundations having a benefit more than see if it spice.
Now, what is the role of social work? I will discuss that in another video. Thank you so much.